Jen here, and I have a layout for the Wild Whisper design team. I am using the masculine collection this week to play around with for my design team projects. This is a mini collection, so it doesn't have everything that they release. It has the paper pack that you can see here. It has, well, I guess you can't see it here, I've cut it into strips, but it has 12 by 12 papers. It has some flare, it has some sequins. That might be it, but I'll leave links to the collection down below. It's basically just this really fun collection full of patterns that can definitely be used for creating boy layouts, more masculine layouts. But you know me, I don't always follow those rules, and I just like to play around with all the patterns. I absolutely love the colors of Wild Whisper collections and the fun patterns, and so I'm always looking for ways to try and get as many colors and patterns onto each layout as possible. So for this one, I decided to cut up these papers. This isn't all of the papers in the collection. There were a few that I wanted to keep as 12 by 12s because they just have really beautiful patterns to them, and I want to use them as the full page for a background or something like that. But I cut up a few of them here, and I'm doing this kind of weaving technique. So I've done layouts before where I've kind of just done a bunch of weaving to create the background and kind of used it to mat a photo or something along those lines. But I thought it might be fun to try and do these little weaving squares in the corners of the layout. So you can see how I am piecing this all together. I started with one side. I'm just gluing down in the centers. I'm not gluing down the tips of any of these strips yet, so that I can kind of weave all of the corners and get everything put together, and then I can go back in and make sure that all of those edges are adhered down. And I've just kind of randomized the way that I have the strips going. So I don't have each side exactly the same as the others. Some patterns are only on 2 sides, some patterns are on all 4 sides. I just wanted to make it really easy and put them wherever they fall. The only thing I was looking for really was that I didn't have 2 of the same pattern side by side. So there you can see how I've kind of just I'm weaving in and out to create my little pattern. And now that I have everything put together, I can go back and glue down all of those edges. I also found this really helped because as I was weaving, it was just the bulk of the paper was causing it to buckle a little bit, and so by leaving all of those edges loose, I can now go back in and place the papers as snugly together as possible. So yeah, if you're looking at me going, whoa, why did she do it like that? Let me know if you have a way that you think might be easier to do this, but I kind of had fun putting all of these little strips together and weaving them like this. So I'm just going to go and make sure they're all stuck down and pulled nice and tight. So there's a few spots where there's gaps, but not too many gaps. And I love it. I think it turned out so cute. And then I have that square in the center where I can go ahead and put my picture. So I'm going to mat my picture on this paper here. This is actually the back of the cover paper. I don't know what that's called. Susie and Heather, you have to let me know. What is this front paper called? It's like the manufacturer's paper. So I'm just using that background bonus pattern because I love that dark teal color, and I'll go ahead and pop it up. I always save that paper even before they started printing a pattern on the back of it, because they always have those beautiful strips of what each pattern is, and those come in so handy. I use them quite a bit, so definitely keep those papers. But I love that they're giving us a bonus pattern now, so that's perfect. Means you get double use out of that paper. So I just matted it and then used a little bit of foam to pop it up. I get my foam at the Dollar Tree, so sometimes I can get plain rectangles and sometimes I have to pick some animal shapes. That's just the way it works, but it always works out in the end. I can kind of cut it up and make them fit properly. So I've got a picture here of my hubby and me, and we are standing outside of our favorite little record store on Record Store Day. So I thought I would go ahead and pull out the ephemera that I have left over from the Feel the Beat collection. And as you can see, the colors work perfect together. I love that their collections are so versatile that way, so you can always find another collection of theirs that you can pull elements from to stretch the length or stretch the life of any collection you have. So the Feel the Beat collection has lots of little ephemera pieces that they just match great. The colors are the right shades and tones, and yes, it worked out really good. So I have that guitar, and I have the drumsticks and that rock and roll, and then I have some headphones up at the top and that little quote up at the top. And I'm just going in and kind of putting a few little pop dots here and there where I need to, because obviously my photo is popped up, so some of these elements have to be popped up as well, especially that guitar. And I'm going to put a flare on there too, I think, in a second. And then those wood veneer hearts, those are just hearts I have from Dollarama. I actually did a big haul video, a Dollar Tree and Dollarama haul video showing you where I got all of those and how much I paid for each of them. But then this whole coronavirus thing hit, and I thought maybe it wasn't the best idea for me to to post a shopping haul for a place where, at least here in Canada, you can't shop online. So I haven't posted it, but when things get back to normal eventually, hopefully when they all do, I will go do another shopping trip and then do a haul, because I get asked a lot for Dollar Tree hauls. So but those hearts came from Dollarama in a big pack for $2. There's 100 pieces and just various sizes of hearts. So great deal if you have Dollaramas around you. So I just stuck those down. I wanted something really neutral that kind of broke up some of those patterns, so that's why I liked the raw wood of those wood veneer. And now I'm putting a few little sequins. I'm just dotting them around too. Again, because there's so much pattern there, I didn't want something that would interfere with that pattern or compete with it, so just a few little touches of sequins here and there kind of gives your eye a place to rest a little bit and adds a little glitz and sparkle, I guess you could say. And then my title here, Record Store Day. My hubby is a huge music fan. I mean, we both are, but he definitely is, and Record Store Day is probably his favorite day of the year. If you asked him what his favorite holiday is, I guarantee you he would say Record Store Day. He always knows which records are coming out. He always has a game plan for me, so we know to get in there, and I know exactly what to look for, because he's always looking for the exclusives. And Record Store Day is the kind of thing where each store can apply for the records that they want to get, the exclusive records that they want to get, and they don't always know if they're actually going to get them all or not. It kind of depends on the size of the store and how much they sell and that kind of stuff. So he doesn't always know if our store is going to get the albums he actually wants. So it's kind of the whole fun of finding it, and you know how it is. He's like a kid in a candy store when he walks into the record store. So it's tons of fun for us, and I document it every year. So I'm adding a few little word strips there from the Tim Holtz Are those little booklets called Small Talk? Yes, I think that one's called Small Talk, and it's just the like general small talk. So most of them are kind of uplifting or motivating little phrases and stuff. So I have a white one in each cluster and then the black one in each cluster. And is that it? I think. Oh no, I'm going to do some journaling. So because the wood veneer, again, I chose them because they're nice and plain, so they give your eye a spot to kind of rest in all that pattern, and it's not competing with the pattern, but they are very, very similar to that really pale yellow, so I thought it would be good to outline them a little bit. When you're using wood veneer and your micron pen, you just want to do it gently so that you don't wreck the tip of your pen. And so I just outlined them, and then I did my journaling inside of them, which I thought was a great idea. I didn't have a ton to say, but just enough to fill up those 2 hearts. And that is it for my layout. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me down below. And the links to Wild Whisper are down below as well. You can use the discount code DTGEN at checkout to get 10% off. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, everybody. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.